I think one day a movie may be made about our two guests that are here today. They're going to be a part of this march, Justice for Breonna Taylor, today at 11 a.m. at the State Capitol building in Frankfort, Kentucky. Both of these women have been on our show. Our good friend, you know her as an entrepreneur, entertainment manager, incredible mom, an incredible wife, the one and only Yandy Smith Harris, and she was here not too long ago, and she's a co-founder of Until Freedom. The one and only Tamika Mallory are on the line. Give them a round of applause for the work that they've been doing in the front lines. What's up, Queens?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sway.
Good morning.
Good morning to my sister Kelly.
Yep. We got shout out to Kelly Kincaid. She on the sideline monitoring like a coach. And you got Heather B and Tracy G on the line with us right now.
Hey, Heather.
Today's
hey, family.
What's up? Well, before we get started, Yandy, how are you been? How you been?
Mad, angry, upset, ready to go to war. But I'm good.
But you good. I've been watching you. 10 toes down, fighting for justice, letting your voice be heard. I've been watching. I'm in DC's and the family support you through it. How's your family doing?
Everybody's good. You know, quarantine, I got to know my kids on a whole new level, got to know my husband on a whole new level. So I'm thankful. Thankful.
Tell your husband I said salute to him, okay?
I will.
Absolutely. Tamika, you and I have been in communication, and you told me a while back, look for what's about to take place today in regards to justice for Breonna Taylor. If you can you give us any updates on what's going on in the case of Breonna Taylor?
So it's been a few things, and thank you so much, Sway. You're right. We have been talking, and today we're fulfilling what we set out to do a few weeks back when we said that we would be going to, coming back to Kentucky. We didn't know at the time. We thought we were going to Louisville, but we decided that we needed to go to Frankfort because the officers who killed Breonna Taylor and the one officer who's responsible for the lies that were told on a no-knock warrant, they have not been arrested. They have not been charged. And the person that has the ability to do that is Daniel Cameron, who is the Attorney General here. And we're going to his office just to let him know that the people are not going to take just one officer being fired, another officer being put on administrative leave, people being reassigned, all those things. Those things are good, but it is not enough, that there has to be full accountability. What we've seen happen so far is that, as I said, one officer was fired, and that is the officer who fired into the home, who shot Breonna Taylor. They believe he is the one who's responsible for her death. He was not alone. And so we definitely don't accept the fact that just that one officer was fired. However, he was. The mayor, not the mayor, the police chief, interim police chief, wrote a letter that was really scathing. I mean, the letter laid out how he put the lives of people in the building, not just Breonna Taylor and Kenny Walker, but also others living, including children. He put them in danger. It talks about his incompetence. It talks about, everything except saying that he's a criminal. And now, just to be clear, this is the same man that when his photo was posted as being responsible for Breonna Taylor's murder, women began to say, this is the same guy who sexually assaulted me. This cop came to me, when I was intoxicated, said he was going to drive me home, and instead he took me somewhere and sexually assaulted me. In fact, on the day that he was, on the night of the murder of Breonna Taylor, he disappeared for 2 hours and was unable to be found after the shooting for him to be deposed and to for the investigation. Where did he go? Did he go to sober himself up? We don't know. But he was fired. He has to be arrested. I think that the letter that the police chief wrote and also his history and background is enough for Daniel Cameron to arrest and charge him. In addition to that, as I said, there was one officer who has been placed on administrative leave or reassignment, which is nothing but them waiting to see if this whole thing dies down so that they can shift him either to another police department or put him back in his place within the Louisville Police Department. But that officer lied on the no-knock warrant application and said that the Postal Service reported suspicious packages going to Breonna Taylor's home. The Postal Office has come forward to say that that's not true. They never reported it and never had suspicions of any packages that were unlawful. And so he lied. And I'm sure they've done this before. And in this particular situation, his lie sent police officers to this young woman's home that created the situation that happened there and ultimately took her life. So there's a lot happening. And I don't think first of all, as we know, we discussed this last time.
Yeah.
She was killed on March 13th. Until late May, there was absolutely no movement, Sway, in this situation at all. They weren't doing anything. The only reason why there's been a little bit of action is because people are in the streets and folks are saying we won't go home until we get justice. So we're continuing that today.
That's happening today, justice for Breonna Taylor at 11 a.m. So if you're in Frankfort, Kentucky or near, they'll be at the state capitol building. That's 700 Capitol Avenue, Frankfort, Kentucky. Let me ask you about this no-knock warrant, which is that allows law enforcement to enter a property without any prior notification of the residents or such as they don't even have to knock or ring a doorbell, correct? What is the status? Has that been changed? Has that been eradicated at all?
So, yes, you're right. I forgot to mention that. Important. No-knock warrant, and the specific issue here is that in the city, in Kentucky, you have the ability to fire one warning shot if you feel that your life is in danger in your home. But at the same time, the police have the right to execute a no-knock warrant. Those two things contradict one another. They can't exist in the same space. And so in this situation, I think it has been reported that there was a knock. But when Kenny Walker and Breonna Taylor called out and said, "Who is it?" there was no response. And the next thing you know, they used a battery ram. I think that's what it's called. You guys probably know better than me.
Yeah.
What is it?
Bataram. That's
Bataram, exactly, to break the door down.
Yeah.
Right. So they forced themselves into the home, at which time Kenny fired the warning shot. Now, and then they started to shoot into the home from outside through the curtains, which again the police chief said was no good. So because they didn't announce who they were, Kenny you can hear him on the phone calling the police. Who calls the police on the police? No one does that. If they knew that it was police outside the door, they would have surrendered because they know they weren't doing anything wrong. So over the last few weeks, the fight to get rid of and to ban no-knock warrants has been going on here. And in fact, they won it. There was a young woman by the name of Katora who worked on the ground in conjunction with the artists, Alicia Keys, Rhapsody, Cardi B, and a number of us put an ad together, a PSA video where we called for the people of Louisville to challenge the city council members to vote down no-knock warrants and to pass Breonna's law, which bans no-knocks, and that passed. But that is only in Louisville. The state of Kentucky still has no-knock warrants. And so now the work has to happen there. And today we will be calling for the elected officials here in the state to take on that fight and ensure that no-knock warrants are no more across the entire Kentucky.
That voice is Tamika Mallory from Until Freedom. You can go to untilfreedom.com/Breonna Taylor to find out more. And we also have Yandy Smith-Harris on the line. Tracy or Heather, you guys want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm wondering because, and thank you both again for being a part of the show and all of the work that y'all are doing. But speaking of the work, I always feel a sense of pride when I see you guys on the front lines, you know, and it riles me up and it reminds me to continue to have conversations that ask myself, okay, what have you done today? Because you see Tamika, you see Yandy, you know, and this is a daily process when it comes to racism here and police brutality and all that we're trying to dismantle. My question is, because so many people view you, you know, you're asked to do press, you're on camera, do you ever worry about your safety when it comes to how much spotlight you get and the opposition knowing who the leaders are?
See, Tamika, I'm going to chime in really quickly. See, the thing is, we ain't safe nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We're not safe in our spaces. We're not safe when we're in our homes. We're not safe when we're driving. And the thing about it is, activism can happen every single day. Yes, 10 toes down on the front lines, marching, rallying is super important. But I like to say my role is to help amplify these voices. And I'll use my platform. I'll put it on my show. I'll, tweet it, Instagram it, because this is something that every single person needs to take part in. People of color, people that are not. This is our liberation, and this is how we need to fight. And it doesn't necessarily mean being out there, because our lives are being threatened every single day, no matter where we are. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter that you're on TV. It doesn't matter that you're just an activist, because the majority of people that are dying aren't the ones on TV. They aren't the ones that are celebrities. It is the working class husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend that go to work every day, but they wear the color of black on their skin. So nobody's safe. Nobody is safe. And I think that's important for us to understand that this could have been our sister, our best friend, our mother, our son, our father. And that is what motivates me every single day to get up and say something. I can't be at every march all the time, because for a long time I was a single mom with my babies. So I had to also be there for them. But I always made sure whatever Tamika was doing, because I believe her voice, I know her voice is true, and I know what she believes, I would amplify it, post what she says, post the rallies. And that's something that's so important for everyone out there that's listening. I understand everyone can't make it to Frankfurt. I understand that. But there are so many ways your activism can take place from your homes. Call your friend, call your girl, tell them to post it, tell them to tune into the live, tell them to follow Until Freedom, tell them to donate. These people are working. Tamika, her team, Until Freedom team, and so many other groups that are on the ground in these different states where injustices are always happening, are working. They get paid through public donations, Until Freedom at least. I can't speak for everybody. But there's no corporation that supports Until Freedom. There is no person at the top of the executive chain that gives to Until Freedom, because then she won't be able to say the things that she says.
Right.
She would have a muzzle over her mouth. So the way that she's able to fly to Kentucky, the way that she's able to meet with Breonna Taylor's family, the way that she's able to gather organizers from all over this country is because of the donations that people give. And honestly, that has been something that has also been a part of my activism. I donate all the time to Until Freedom because I know the work that she does. And I have a black son, I have a black daughter, 2 black daughters, and it is important for me to always have insurance for their freedom and insurance for their safety. So I look at me giving to Until Freedom as like I give to Geico. It is insurance for my safety, my freedom, and my children.
Amen.
And we appreciate every single penny of it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If folks want to donate to or invest, as my son eloquently said last time you guys were on, if they want to invest in Until Freedom, Tamika, how can they do it? We got a lot of citizens here that are willing to invest in worthy causes that tune into our show. How can they do it?
They should go to untilfreedom.com, and there are multiple ways: Cash App, Venmo, and ActBlue, which is probably the most safe and secure. You can go right to untilfreedom.com and give there. And again, like you said, invest. And we really do appreciate the support that many have been giving and supporting and calling and saying, how can I get involved? One way that you can be supported today is that we provided free buses for people all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, and folks here in Louisville to get the hour into Frankfurt. Those buses are about $35, a little more for the Atlanta buses. So if you want to support you can sponsor someone since you were not able to be here. You can invest in someone else being at the rally today by going to the link untilfreedom.com and giving your donation.
I want to say thank you as we started this conversation for your service to the community.
Yes.
We are out here asking and fighting for justice. And so to all of our citizens that are tuning in today, if you follow us, if you've been rocking with us since 2011, you know that what we stand for is something that's righteous and something that's fair. And so with you, Yandy made a good point. Your activism doesn't mean you have to be out front and holding up signs or throwing fists in the air or whatever and not knocking that. That's what some folks do. But this is a great way, if you're wondering, because a lot of people are also having a little bit of guilt because they can't really be out there or be hands-on. And I always tell them, nah, man, this activism happens on many scales, many ways, many levels. Here's a good way. $35 isn't a whole lot of money. So that's one way you could practice your activism. $100, whatever you can afford, can work. Think about money we spend on frivolous things. That thing this week could be towards untilfreedom.com. So I want to encourage everybody to go online and check it out for yourselves, because this is going to be an ongoing journey for us. And I want to thank you guys.
Thank you, Sway. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sway, so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you all.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yandy, I love those beautiful kids. I always see you guys posting. Y'all look like y'all have fun at your house. You got a nice couch, too.
You need to come over for dinner one day.
That's my word. That'll happen, okay? Look, be strong today, you guys. Hold your head. We there with you in spirit.
Yes.
Justice for Breonna Taylor today at 11 a.m. at the State Capitol building in Frankfort, Kentucky. 700 Capitol Avenue. Everybody show up. It'll be Breonna's family there. Benjamin Crump, Lonita Baker, activists will be there. Yandy will be there. Citizens will be there. And go to
Common will be there. MC
Common's
Light
coming?
will be there. Rhapsody will be there. Kenny Stills will be there, and some other special guests that listen. There's going to be one guest there today, and I've been itching to tell everybody. I can't say it right now, but
Okay.
she's coming, and people need to know.
Beyonce's coming?
I can't say who it is, but it's high level.
It's
You'll
high
see.
level. Hey, Common
High
coming. Have the Common and tell you he was going to be there today?
Shut up, Sway. You always start in trouble. Man, salute to you ladies, though. And Yandy, how you doing? It's Heather. Thank you so much for all the work that you do in New Jersey as well with the school system. You are not a person that always put everything that you do on Front Street like that, but Principal Arkbar Cook and I are really good friends, and you do so much work here in New
That's my
Jersey.
guy.
Yeah, oh man, he speaks so highly of you, Yandy. You always represent for the girls there and the young ladies. Such a beautiful thing that you do, sis. And I just wanted to personally say thank you as a product of New Jersey myself, and thank you so much. And Tamika, I just literally had a conversation yesterday with Sway on the show. We were speaking with the attorneys, Chris Stewart and Justin Miller, and I was just saying, like, there's nothing against our brothers out here, but I'm so happy that you ladies are stepping up for the women. When we think of the Sandra Bland's and the Breonna Taylors, like, these women can't just disappear like this. Thank y'all so much for the work that you're doing.
Yes.
They can't just disappear out the media. We have to tell their stories. We have to have justice for them. So thank you both so much.
Say her name. Say her name.
That's
Breonna
right,
Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. Okay, y'all be strong today. We'll check
Yes.
in with you, okay?
All right, love you
Thank
guys.
you.
All right, love you
all.
guys.
Love you
Okay,
too.
absolutely. Untilfreedom.com. Go check it out right now, and that's how you could be. That's how you could invest in your activism.